Chapter 1, Lesson 1.5, Graph Proportional Relationships. Okay, so it says, determine whether the relationship between the two quantities shown in each table are proportional by graphing on the coordinate plane. Okay, so they gave us a table, okay, with two quantities, and they gave us a coordinate plane, okay, and they labeled x and y, and they labeled the values for us. So this table, okay, volume of a cube. So the two quantities include the side length in feet and the volume, okay, feet cubed. So it says that for 1 foot, the side length, okay, that volume is 1. For 2, okay, is 8, right? Because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then 3 squared, cubed, right? 3 times 3 times 3, 27. Okay, so they want to know if the two quantities are proportional. And the way that we can do that is by plotting the points on the graph. So let's see. Let's take, okay, our first. So we have 1 and 1. So we have 1, and we're going to go, there's not a 1 on the y-axis, okay, but there we can put a 1 down below. And also, first maybe let's label. So we have our dependent variable, which is our y-axis, and we have our independent variable, which is our x-axis. Now, the dependent, okay, is going to be the volume, and our independent, which is our x-axis, is the side length, because the volume, okay, is dependent on the side length. So this is, I don't know if I can even write on this here. Okay, so this is length, right, in feet. Length. And then here is our volume, okay, just so we know. Alright, so again, so we go to 1 on the x-axis, and then we'll go 1, we'll put that like here. Okay. Okay, so now 2 is 8, so we go to 2 on the x-axis and go up to 8. So I'll put a dot like right there. And then 3, okay, we go to 3, and then we'll go up to 27, which is right here. Okay, now, there's our points. Now, we're supposed to be able to connect the points in a straight line, but in this case, it doesn't look like we can do that. It looks like it's kind of off. So if we did connect the points just to see, right, we would have that, and then that would go down there. Okay, so first of all, it's not even a straight line. Okay, so now, are these proportional? Are these two quantities proportional? No, they are not, okay? If they were proportional, this would be a straight line, and it would go through the origin. It would go through this point right here. Oops. Right here, 0, 0. Okay, so it's neither. It's not straight, doesn't go through the origin. So is this proportional? It's not. Now, if you want to double check, right, we have a table here. So the way that we can check for proportionality with tables, right, 1 find the unit rate and 1 cross multiply. So look, if we cross multiplied, okay, does 2 times 1 equal 1 times 8? No. Okay, so there we can even see that it's not proportional. Okay, so in this case, non-proportional. Okay, number 2. Same thing. Okay, so now we have gallons of gas used per hour. Okay, so we have the number of hours and the gallons of gas. Okay, so again, we have our coordinate plane, which we need to plot the points. So we need to see which one's our dependent variable and which one is our independent variable. So our independent variable, in this case, is going to be the number of hours. And our dependent variable is going to be the gallons of gas, okay? The number of hours changing, right, is the independent, because the gallons of gas depends on the hours of changing. Okay, so here we're going to have hours. Okay, on the side, I'll just put, that's a G, gallons. Okay, so now let's plot our points. So let's see, our first ordered pair here, right? We got 3 and then 15. So we go to 3 for hours, and then we go up to 15. Now this is in 2s, so we'll go right between, we'll go right, right here. Okay, and then we have our next ordered pair, which is for 20, right? 4 on the x-axis, we go up to 20 on the y, and then for 5, right, we have 25, so we go to 5, now it kind of stops here, so that would be 22, so it's going to be up here somewhere. I'm not sure where this graph cut off there. Okay, so now what we do is we connect the points. So let's do that as best as possible. Okay, we got this. And I'm just going to keep extending it. Make sure it's right through those points there. Whoop, hello. What happened? Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so now we're looking for two things. We're looking for if it's a straight line, which it is. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, we're looking if it goes through 0, 0, which it does. Okay, so now we have our two traits that we need for it to be proportional. Straight line goes through 0, 0, goes through this point, the origin right here. Okay, so in this case, this is proportional. Now, if we look at the table just to make sure, right, if we cross multiply, does 15 times 4 equal 3 times 20? Well, 15 times 4 is 60, and 20 times 3 is 60. Okay, so even the table is showing us that this is proportional, right? Now, we have our answer. It's proportional. Okay, number 3, DVD rental. Okay, so number of DVDs, those are the two, and the cost, the two quantities that we're working with. Okay, and again, we have our coordinate plane. So let's figure out the dependent and the independent variable. Okay, so again, remember with that, we're looking for one of the quantities depends on the other one to change. Okay, so in this case, it looks like the number of DVDs is the independent, right? Because the cost, right, depends on how many DVDs you rent. Okay, so DVDs, it's going to be on the bottom for the independent, right? And then the cost, the moolah, it's going to be on the y-axis for the dependent variable. Okay, so let's look at our first ordered pair. So number of DVDs. So one DVD costs $7. Okay, so we go to the 1 on the x-axis, go up to 7. So that's going to be like here. Okay, so this is going by 3s. Okay, our next ordered pair, we have 2 DVDs cost $9. So go to 2 DVDs, and let's go up to $9. And then we have 3 DVDs cost $11. So we go to 3, and we go up to 11, which is right under that 12. Okay, then we take our straight edge, our line, we messed up, and we connect the points there. We always have to go across the y-axis. Okay, so let's say number 1, is it a straight line? Yes. Number 2, does it go through the origin? Does it go through 0, 0? No. So it is not proportional. And again, if you wanted to confirm that, okay, you can go to the table and you cross multiply. Does 2 times 7, which is 14, equal 9 times 1? No, it does not. Okay, so in this case, non-proportional. Okay, and just for closure, to show proportionality on a graph, okay, there has to be 2 things that they must have. Okay, the first is has to be a blank line. It has to be a straight line. Has to be. Can't be curved. Okay, crooked. Okay, and number 2, that line must go through the blank. It must go through the origin. Okay, and again, remember the origin is 0, 0. The ordered pair, 0, 0. And that concludes lesson 1.5.